Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I believe you enjoy your Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. And today we're talking about trigonometry, part 4. And the subtopic is relationship between the ratios. Okay. As part of my question, I shared proof that sine square theta plus cos square theta equals 1. It's very simple. Okay, and in the on the video I made mention of Pythagoras theorem. Okay, and I made mention of SOHCAHTOA, which is what you're going to use. Okay, so it's very simple. They can ask you in the theoretical question in your classes, okay, or in your exam, in your written exam. The only one I feel they might not ask something related to that is JAMB or thereabout. Okay, so but at least they can still twist it in such a way that you can still prove it. So here, not to waste our time, we want to prove that sine square theta plus cos square theta equals to what? 1. Prove sine square theta plus cos square theta equals what? 1. So that is what we want to prove now. So like I said that the first thing we need to do here is that we can get our SOHCAHTOA, which I've mentioned earlier. Okay, so from our SOHCAHTOA, okay, so I can get my sine theta, my cos theta, and my tan theta. So sine theta is equal to what? Opposite over hypotenuse, which is sine theta. Sine theta here equals opposite over hypotenuse. What is the opposite? This is the opposite here. I've told you in part 1 or part 2, that is where the angle is facing is opposite. Okay, the other one is what? Adjacent. Why the last one that has the longest that the angle is facing, right angle triangle is facing, is what? Hypotenuse. This is a right angle 90. We call it right angle is equal to what? Angle 90. So from here, sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, which is what? G over, that's G over F. Okay, that's G over F. That's 1. Okay, now the next one is what? Cos. That's cos theta adjacent over hypotenuse. So cos theta adjacent over hypotenuse. So what is the adjacent here? The adjacent is what? E, small letter E. Okay, what is the hypotenuse? Is what? Small letter what? F. So, and that is what we will call that's cos theta. That will be what? E over F. Cos theta is what? E over F. So from here, we can see that yes, that will serve as what? Equation what? Equation 2. Now that will be our equation 2. Okay. Then we can also have our what? Our tan theta, which is SOHCAHTOA. Tan theta. So our tan theta will now be that will be then this one will now be what? Tan theta. What is 2? That's opposite over adjacent. What is my opposite here? My opposite is what? G over adjacent is what? E. So, and that one will serve as what? Equation what? Equation 3. So from this now, I can get my, I've gotten my SOHCAHTOA. So what is the next thing I need to do? Is to do my Pythagoras what? Theorem. So I can just say from Pythagoras theorem, I've mentioned that from Pythagoras theorem. So from Pythagoras theorem, I've mentioned that before. So here we say that theorem is what? Hypotenuse square equals opposite square plus what? Adjacent square. Okay, hypotenuse square equals opposite square plus what? Adjacent square. So that is the Pythagoras theorem that we know. So, and here, what is my hypotenuse square? My hypotenuse square is what? F square. That's hypotenuse is F and it's carrying square. Then my opposite is what? G square plus, and then my adjacent is what? E what? Square. So the next thing we'll now do is that how can we now prove that sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to what? 1. Okay, we already know our sine theta to be this. We'll now say, okay, therefore, what's my sine square theta? Okay, then that's cos square theta. We want to prove that is equals to 1. Now, so what we need to do here is just to substitute the value of what we got. That's 1 and 2 here. Okay, 1 and 2. Replace it here. Do you understand now? So then it means that from here we can have that same g square f square plus cos square theta. That is the square of the answer. E square over what? F square. Do you see now? We want to prove that it's equals to 1. We've gotten our sin theta to be g over f, cos theta to be e over f. So instead of me writing sine square theta, this one is the same thing as saying sine theta all square. This one is also the same thing as saying cos theta all square. You understand? So I square the result, g over f, g square over f square plus what? E square over what? F square. So the question I need to ask myself is that I can find the LCM. I can find the LCM here. Okay, I can find the LCM. So if I want to find the LCM, you will see that this is common. F square is common to both sides. So you can see that F square is common to both sides. So what will now be my LCM? So my LCM here will be what? F what? Square. F square. Okay, and my I'll take my numerator. That's f square divided by f square is what? 1. 1 times g square is that. So the same thing applies here. F square divided by f square is 1. 1 times e square is what? E square. Okay, so very simple. So I'll find the LCM here. So after finding the LCM, the next thing you will need to do is that, okay, look at your Pythagoras theorem. Okay, look at your Pythagoras theorem, which I would target to be equation what? To be equation 4. Okay, look at your Pythagoras theorem, which I'm going to target to be what? To be equation 4. So if you look at the LCM very well, the one I have, okay, you'll see that f square equals what? G square plus what? E square. And now from equation 5, let me tag this to be what? Equation 5. From equation 5, you will see that g square plus e square is carrying what equation 4 is talking about. So from equation 5 here, g square plus what? E square is equal to what? F square. So you now see, therefore, very simple. It can come out in your theoretical. Most times it comes out in a theoretical part. Show that sine square theta, they know it's simple, plus cos square theta is equals to 1. So therefore, instead of me writing e square plus e square, I will write what? F square. Okay, so you now say, therefore, put 4 in 5. Okay, very simple. Put 4 in what? In 5. So when you put 4 in 5, at the end of the day, what do you get? So it means that instead of me writing g square plus e square, I'll write what? f square, okay, over what? F square. See that they are the same thing. I can now what? Cancel. So it means at the end of the day, I'm getting what? 1. Do you see it now? So that is how to prove that sin square theta plus cos square theta is equals to what? 1. So you can now conclude and say, therefore, I can conclude and say, therefore, sin square theta plus what? Cos square theta equals what? Equals 1. Okay? Sin square theta plus cos square theta equals 1. Please, we want you to invite your friends. You are benefiting from this presentation. Invite your colleagues to also benefit from it. Okay? We want to reach as many, not even much this time, as many students, young minds as possible, so that they can see that mathematics is very simple. It's not hard. It's easy to learn. Okay? Please follow us on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And share. Please continue to share so that we can reach a lot of young minds. It's very, very simple. It's just like chin chin and what? And pure water. So this is a relationship between ratios, and we've been able to prove that sin square theta plus cos square theta is equals to 1. Cheers.